Today we're going to talk about Romelu Lukaku, how he plays, whether we need to change the way we play to accommodate him and get the best out of him. So, don't go anywhere. I am happy to let you know that today's video is brought to you in collaboration with the Perfect Hat Trick. And I'll make sure to leave the complete information on how you can reach the Perfect Hat Trick, listen to the podcast, and enjoy it as I've always urged you to do. And so today I have with me Taron from the Perfect Hat Trick. Taron, please take some time to tell us a little about the Perfect Hat Trick.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again, Coachila. I've become kind of a mainstay on this channel, and yeah, I'm very happy to always feature on this channel. And yeah, the Perfect Hat Trick podcast is a football podcast brought to you by teenagers who have a really good knowledge of the game. We are not just your average kind of opinion-based teenagers. We like to analyze it in detail, talk about some key talking points, and yeah, we had an episode analyzing Romelu Lukaku like this with COC Pice on Twitter, and yeah, you can check that out on Spotify and Apple. It's called the Perfect Hat Trick podcast.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a great podcast, and I've been enjoying it. And that's why I've been urging my followers to go check it out themselves. And Tara, more importantly, I appreciate you finding time to present this, you could call it Lukaku analysis to the fan base, to my followers, and to whoever gets to watch this video. But that's by the way. So Romelu Lukaku signed from Anderlecht, loaned to West Brom, loaned to Everton, sold to Everton, and then Everton sold him to Manchester United, and Manchester United, who then sold him to Inter Milan, and Inter Milan sold him to Chelsea. What a circle that is. That is quite some travel by Romelu Lukaku, and you could say in a perfect circle, I must say. So, Taron, would you say that Lukaku has improved? If the answer is yes, how has he improved?
By a country mile, I'd say when he left Chelsea for Everton on a permanent, he was probably a 6 out of 10 in terms of a complete striker, 5 or a 6. And now he's improved to a 9.5 even. The only thing that's missing in his game is maybe that real agile dribbling, but that's not really important. He's become an elite creator of the game. He's an elite finisher. He's a leader on the pitch. He's a team player. He is the real deal, in my opinion. And since he's left Inter Milan, especially working under Antonio Conte with a new dietitian who's really helped him to get lean and get more muscly, he's become a powerhouse. He's learned to use his strength in the right way, not just for the sake of it. He's learned to use it to get close to the goal, to link up with other players and make players like Achraf Hakimi, Lautaro Martinez, and Alexis Sanchez are much better players. So, yeah, especially since he's left for Inter Milan, he's become a world-class striker. But even at Everton, he scored in total in the Premier League 113 goals, and now he's coming back, and he could even get up there. He's 20th in the all-time Premier League leading goal scorer charts. He could even get higher than that at the say at Chelsea. So he's become a complete striker in the time, and like I said, he's improved leaps and bounds since leaving.
Yeah. I agree. I've watched some of his games myself, and I think he's improved really. So many aspects of his game uh, that is the complaints about him. I think he's done himself some good and make sure he's improved in those areas, and that's great to see. But that's by the way, and the second question is this, Taron. Do you think we'd have to change the way we play to accommodate him and get the best out of him? Because that's usually often the case when you sign a new player. You'd have to change the way you play, make some adjustments in terms of personnel to get the best out of the new signing. Do you think that will be the case, or do you think he will slot in seamlessly, or let me say perfectly?
Well, I didn't even need to say that. Thomas Tuchel yesterday in his press conference was asked that exact question. He said, "We've analysed this transfer in and out, all the pros and cons, and we won't have to change the way we play to accommodate Lukaku. He has all the strengths that suit this current system. Great with his back to goal, great in front of the goal, great at linking up play, great interchanging positions. The only thing I would say is we need to play more long balls, but I feel like we were kind of lacking in that department before. So you could say that instead of changing our game, we're going to be developing our game even more to score more goals. For example, Reece James last season under Tuchel, he would always, pass the ball back. So you'd see Timo Werner in the box, he'd see Pulisic, and they're not really good in the air. But now he's seen Lukaku there. So that's going to, get us more goals this season. So you could say we're not really sacrificing anything in our game at all. All we're doing is adding more gun power, more firepower, almost like more ammo to the gun to make more, goals and assists this season for Chelsea. So he's going to make loads of these other players the weight off their shoulder. Timo Werner last season was playing like a guy who had such a big burden. He's just signed from Leipzig. He has to, score straight away. But all that weight can be taken off his shoulders. Lukaku's here. He's the main goal threat. He's going to be scoring the goals. Werner can score, but he won't be like reliant to score, if you get what I mean. Same with all these other young players. It's not really healthy. If you look at Arsenal, for example, this season, they're relying on so many young players to do well. It's not healthy for the team. It's not healthy for the players. But now we have a leader, a team player up front who's going to get us more goals, more assists, and basically make us a complete package and really, add fire to the title charge.
Yeah, as you were answering that question, I picked out something from what you said, something about long balls. If we you start using long balls that much, don't you think that amounts to, you could say we've changed the way we play?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not changing. Like this season, for example, last season, we tried to, when we were pressed quite high, we tried to play long balls up to, Havertz, Werner, and they'd get pressed high, lose the ball, and we'd lose the ball quickly. But if we have Lukaku in those positions and we're playing long balls up when we're getting pressed, we can counter-attack quicker, we can get to the goal quicker, and we can actually attack in a more efficient way. So, yeah, it won't change the way we play. It will just add to it. Same thing I said about the crosses. I'm not saying we're going to become, spam cross FC like we were a few years ago. We're just going to have a new dimension to our game. We won't always have to play out from the back now. You see Jorginho and Kovac, it's not healthy for them always to be in the position to constantly do the same tactics all the time. Now, maybe one attack we can play out from the back, one attack we can play a long ball, one attack we can play out wide. So basically what I'm saying is we're adding so many different dimensions to our game. We're not really sacrificing anything. We're just adding more and more fuel. And I think this is the real missing piece in the jigsaw. And we can really mount, like I said, a title charge again.
And you think that Jorginho and Kovacic and Kante are capable of connecting the passes as quickly as possible to him if we are in a position where a long ball will help us, you know, beat the opponent's beat or charging towards our own area and score with a counter attack. Do you think that will work?
Yeah, it could work either way. Say if like we're playing against Liverpool, Man City, they're obviously really, really high pressing teams. I'd say then we can use the kind of working out of the press. I prefer to do it like that. If you remember at Anfield last season when we won 1-0, it was really efficient. They'd press us high. But let's not forget, this season they have Van Dijk back there, Joe Gomez. They're going to be much better pressing sides. They're going to be pressing in a more organised way than last season. So we're going to have to rely on a big target man to hold up the play, to pass to Werner, pass to Mount, pass to Pulisic. So basically, Lukaku is just going to add that new dimension now. So if Jorginho and Kovacic drop deep to receive the play, they don't need to hesitate too much. If the defender's coming, they straight away look for Lukaku. He's always on with his back to goal, always shrugging off defenders, and then we play from there. So Lukaku's also added in our build-up play now. We don't just need to rely on Jorginho and Kovacic anymore. We have Lukaku who will really help our build-up play. He'll almost be like a creative striker at times. He'll drop deep. He'll open up the spaces. If he drops deep, brings the defender with him, then it will leave a space for someone to run in behind that gap. So he's basically adding a new creative dimension to our team as well.
Yeah, great point. Right there, they have to adapt to his inclusion in the team and that be able to that is facilitate the transition quicker than usual, and that's important to know. Okay, should Tuchel decide, which is I don't know if that is likely. I mean, if he decide to play two strikers up front, or let me say pair Lukaku with anybody, or play two up front, who do you think would be the perfect pairing? Is it Werner or is it what's his name? Kai Havertz?
Well, yeah, if you're talking about a striker pairing, I'd rather, as an inverted forward, I think Mason Mount and Ziyech are going to be absolutely deadly with Lukaku. But in terms of a striker, I think Kai Havertz, you can't look too far. You could say Timo Werner, but even in the positions where he's got into goal scoring opportunities, last season, I don't think he scored them in positions he should have. So if you think about Havertz, he's really technical. He's great in tight spaces. He's great on the ball. If he can play, the run he made against Villarreal, he went down the left, he opened up space. Lukaku's there in the middle for their fight. They can interchange these positions. 1 minute, it can be Havertz in the middle. 1 minute, it can be Lukaku out wide. If you kind of look at the highlights from Lautaro Martinez and Lukaku at Inter Milan, they had such a deadly combination up front. They linked up so well. One would drop deep, one would go in behind. They played some nice link-up play. And I think Havertz can really be that Lautaro Martinez type of player. He's a great finisher. He's very composed in front of goal. He's great interchanging. He's great pressing. And I think Lukaku and Havertz have actually been in contact recently talking about this. And maybe when they played each other in the Europa League a few years ago, they have a lot of respect for each other. They know what they're all about. It could be like the young striker and the experienced striker linking up. And it could be a really deadly duo. But Timo Werner, like I said earlier, he won't really have a goal-scoring burden anymore. So if he's in front of goal, he won't feel as much pressure as last season, as he knows Lukaku's there. He could shoot, he could score with much ease, and it could be good. But like I said, Mount and Ziyech could be absolutely deadly under Romelu Lukaku. If you look at the amount of crosses Ziyech's done to Tammy Abraham in the past, not as many goals. Lukaku will score like 90% of them goals. Mason Mount's chance creation stats were one of the best in the Premier League last season. He was just behind, I believe, Jack Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne, and Bruno Fernandes. So if you imagine all them chances that Mount's creating, Lukaku could easily score like 40 goals a season if all these chances were taken away.
Yeah, great point. But that brings to mind the truth is whether we play a lone striker up front or if we play two strikers up front, somebody will have to make way. Who do you think that will be?
Yeah, I'm going to say Timo Werner, purely for the fact that, yes, his pressing is good and he's opens up a lot of space for players, but Lukaku can do all of that. And he can add so many other things like the goal scoring, like the assisting. So I'd say Timo Werner will have to make way because I think Havertz and Lukaku will be deadly. And then it'll be between Mason Mount and Ziyech and Pulisic. I also think Christian Pulisic could have a difficult season, in my opinion. He's had a difficult preseason. He's had the most time out of everyone to get back to speed. And yet he looks like he's just came back from a long-term tournament. So, yeah, I don't think Pulisic and Lukaku necessarily would connect well. Pulisic likes to dribble a lot. He likes to drive. And Lukaku kind of likes to do a similar thing. So I think there could be a little clash there. That's why I think our elite creators who create chances like Mount, Ziyech and Kai Havertz could be the best players. But I'd say Pulisic and Timo Werner, they've both had poor pre-seasons. They had poor last season. So unless they step up very quickly, I think they could be on the chopping blocks. And obviously we only have 3 forwards in our team. We were already having trouble last season with fitting them all in. And now we have one of the best strikers in Europe coming in. So, we're the best club, well, in my opinion, the best club in England. So it's not easy to get into our team,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the point you made there that I like is that he offers what Timo Werner offers, which is pace and running behind defenders. And that's great to know. He even adds power to it. So if he can provide all that, offer all those things, why have Timo Werner on the pitch and him at the same time? So it's better to pair him with somebody who can create chances like Hakim Ziyech and Kai Havertz. That's great to know. The question is, you did mention Lautaro Martinez, who he had great chemistry with at Inter Milan. Now we don't have Lautaro Martinez and we don't have Hakimi. Those are the guys who he had great chemistry with, and they scored quite a lot of goals. They created goals for him, and he created goals for Martinez himself. But how do you think he would? That is, he will do without those guys. How is he gonna? Do you think he still hit the ground running, or do you think he need time to get acquainted with his new teammate, develop a chemistry with them? Because he's new to them.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Like I said, Martinez is a player who I don't think is a specialist player. Martinez is a goal scorer. He's someone who can get onto flick-ons, and any of our attackers can basically play the Martinez role, in my opinion. So that's not an issue at all. Hakimi is a bit of an issue, I'd say. Hakimi is a very specialist player. He gets in behind very, very well. He's absolutely rapid. He's a great goal scorer, a great assister. And him and Lukaku had a very, very nice combo last season. And if you think about our wing backs, Reece James is nowhere near the type of player of Hakimi. Hudson-Odoi is still showing flashes, but obviously he's nowhere near the wing back of Achraf Hakimi. So that could be an issue. But my point is, we play a complete different kind of brand of football to Inter Milan. Yes, it's a three at the back system, but we play a much more possession-based attacking style of football. Lukaku will get used to that quickly. He'll realise that he doesn't need to transition with Hakimi as much as he did at Inter Milan. Therefore, there's less space between him and the goal. He can play it to Reece James. He can play it to Hudson-Odoi. There won't be as much transitional opportunities as, like I said, at Inter Milan, where Lukaku would be like him, Martinez, and Hakimi versus the whole defence at times. But now the teams will be sitting back against Chelsea, know how they played last season. We'll have a lot more attackers in the box. So it's just about Thomas Tuchel explaining how Lukaku can, link up with these players, what his role will be in the system. If Reece James will be there all the time, or Hudson-Odoi will be there, even Azpilicueta will be there. I see the Hakimi thing would be a tiny issue, but we play a complete different brand of football, so you can't really compare the two, in my opinion.
Great point right there. Overall, Taron, do you think he can replicate his Inter Milan form at Chelsea, or do you think it will be a different story altogether? I mean, you and I know it can be better. He may not be able to measure what he did in Inter due to how we play, because our goals come from all departments, and it's not about the striker alone. If you don't score, you create chances for your teammates. So, do you think he will do better at Chelsea, or he will not measure up to what he did at Inter Milan?
I think he's going to do better. I honestly think he's going to do better. Yeah, Inter Milan, he was playing, like I said, in the system that didn't create many chances, but when the chance came, he was there to take it away. Imagine the amount of chances Lukaku's going to get from Mason Mount, Ziyech, Havertz, even Timo Werner's assists at times. He's going to have so many different chances to score goals from the season, and he is a prolific goal scorer. He doesn't miss a crazy amount of chances. I think he's going to score even more goals than he was Inter Milan, and that might be a big statement. And you might think he's been in the Italian league, he needs to adapt. It's been 2 years, he's not been in the Premier League, but this guy has scored 113 Premier League goals. He knows what the league is about. He knows how to score goals. He knows how to get the best defenders. He knows how to assist. He knows how to put his back to goal. And I think he's going to do better. He's very, very hungry. Thomas Tuchel was brought up in the presser yesterday. He's so hungry to come back. If there was one team he would have left Inter Milan to join, it would have been Chelsea, to relive the Drogba legacy that he couldn't really do back in the day. We did sign Lukaku to try and replace Drogba back in 2012, but that didn't unfortunately work out. He's back. He's going to be hungry to take all these chances. He's going to be hungry to link up with Mason Mount, Havertz, and all these other players. He's going to be hungry to work under the Champions League winners, under Thomas Tuchel. I think he's going to do an absolute madness this year. There's a very low chance that he won't do well, but that is the slight chance he will get an injury. Apart from that, I think our system's built for a player like Lukaku, and that's why I think he's going to fire us a league title charge.
And if I may ask, how many goals do you think he will score?
I think in all competitions, I think he'll score 30 this season.
30 goals in all competitions. And that would be, do you think it would be enough for him to win the Golden Boot?
I do, because Harry Kane, it looks like it's going to be a difficult season for Harry Kane. There's not many other goal scorers in the league. Cavani, not really. Heung-min Son, not really. Look at his other teams like Arsenal, Aubameyang, no. So that leaves Lukaku, and I've already put him into my fantasy team. A lot of people out, they know he's going to do mad. So, yeah, I'd say he's going to win the Golden Boot as well if he can get up to scratch quickly.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Taron, and I hope he does that too, because that will mean we'll probably be up there in the league table at the end of the season, or maybe even go ahead to win it. So, Taron, to round things up, can you please take some time and please give us an overview of his profile as a player and what he brings to the team, how he can make us better, and what makes him different from all the strikers we've had. Or if you want to compare them to any of our great strikers, that's fine. However, you want to just put things together for whoever gets to watch this video to understand Lukaku's kind of player, how he plays, and what he brings to the team, and how he makes us better.
Well, elite chance taking. That's all he can. That's all I can sum up really. He's an elite finisher, and he's not just a finisher. He's great at pressing. He's a great team player. He's great at linking up play. He's a very versatile attacker. He's by far one of the best attackers in Europe. So you look at our stats last season, we created lots of chances. We couldn't finish them. Lukaku will take these chances with ease, literally. And he's hungry, like I said. He's going to be working on Thomas Tuchel, a great manager. As a player, he's very physical. Like I said, he's a great guy at holding up defenders and doing basically everything you want a striker to do. And if you could compare him to one player, I'd say he's more of a Diego Costa than Drogba. And, people want him to be a Drogba kind of player, but I think Drogba was so much more technical, his long shots, his shooting, his kind of passing, everything a bit more than Lukaku. But Lukaku has that kind of fear factor about him that I think Costa had. He puts fear into defenders. He's great holding up play, and he is someone that defenders will be scared of looking at if they see him in a team sheet. So yeah, that's kind of Lukaku's overall.
Yeah, thank you very much for taking some time to tell us the kind of player he is. That's important for most people that probably don't know him that well. So on a final note, please, what advice do you have for the Chelsea fans? Those that are disappointed, Lukaku wasn't the first choice of many of the fan base, but we were not the coach. The coach knows, the manager knows what he wants and the profile of player he was looking for, and they got the man for him. So what advice do you have for the Chelsea fan base, especially those who are disappointed that the signing wasn't Erling Haaland?
Well, all I have to say is Lukaku's a much better financial deal. He's definitely going to deliver. He's hungry to come back to Chelsea. I just want to make a quick point about Erling Haaland. If he joined, you say, a 5-year contract this year for £170 million, he was going to use it as a stepping stone for Bayern Munich. He wasn't going to stay for the full 5 years, and if he was going to wear out his contract. Let's not forget about Mino Raiola, the kind of guy he is. Haaland would have basically screwed us over in the future. He wasn't looking at Chelsea as a club he loves, but Romelu Lukaku is going to deliver, and he's going to do it for the fans.
Thank you very much, Taron, for finding the time to be here for us to present this Lukaku analysis to the fan base. I sincerely do appreciate that. I know you have somewhere to be, but if you can take some time to plug in, tell us a little more about the Perfect Hat-Trick, and if you have anything new going on, please, over to you.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Perfect Hat-Trick podcast on Spotify and Apple. You can find Chelsea news, any other football club news. Great talking point. Just check us out on the podcast. If you want to get involved, just message me on Twitter. If you like what you heard, just follow me on Twitter as well at CFC Taron. And yeah, but I was really happy to be in this episode. Thanks for having me on, and looking forward to the next one.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, people, I'll leave the complete information for the Perfect Hat-Trick in the description section. So don't forget to check it. And please don't forget to smash that like button, comment, share the videos, subscribe if you haven't, and more importantly, click on the bell notification button so you don't miss anything. Again, my name is Coachila, and that's my guest, Taron. See you guys again in the next video. Cheers.